Alright, so for this video I'm going to show you how to use this Firstlook pressure transducer to measure exhaust pulses. So we've got it rigged into our tailpipe right here. You can see the sensor comes with this long cable that can reach all the way to the front of the vehicle. Okay, we've got that plugged into channel A of our picoscope. On channel B, we've plugged in this inductive pickup so that we can capture our spark event for cylinder number 1. We'll use that as a sync probe. Okay, so on our screen here, we've selected a ×1 probe on channel A, and we're just doing plus or minus 2 volts. ×1 probe on channel B for that ignition event, and we're doing plus or minus 20 volts there. And we're going to do 50 milliseconds per division. So as you can see, our blue traces are exhaust pulses, and they might not look like something you're used to here, but we're going to walk through this on how to analyze whether or not this engine is running good based on those exhaust pulses. So I'm going to pause it, and then we'll take a look at what we see. So now that we've paused our screen, what we're going to do is we're going to first come down here in the lower right hand corner, and we're going to drag over these blue rulers. We're going to drag one to one spark event and the other one to the next. And that way we're going to be able to see all 6 exhaust pulses from all 6 cylinders on this 97 Jeep Grand Cherokee that we're working on. Okay, and now so we can identify which exhaust pulses from what cylinder, we're going to add in 6 partitions down here at the bottom. Alright, now that we've done that, you can actually see that there is a pattern that is happening here. Every one of these different divisions look quite similar to each other. So just based on that, we can see that this engine's running fairly good. The exhaust pulses are fairly consistent here. Now to figure out what cylinder is what, according to the book that comes with our Firstlook sensor, it says that on a 6-cylinder engine, from where you have your ignition event happening, the exhaust for that cylinder is 2 over from that. Okay, so this is our spark from cylinder 1, so right here is the exhaust for cylinder number 1. And then if we know our firing order, we can count over and figure out which cylinder is what. Okay, now the reason I use our Firstlook sensor is usually so I can identify a misfire that's happening that the computer has not seen. So maybe I'm feeling something, thinking maybe there's a misfire, but the computer's not telling me there is one. So I pull this sensor out and see if I can identify something happening here. So in order to see what a misfire looks like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug the fuel injector for cylinder number 1 and cause our own misfire. And watch how different this signal is going to look. Okay, so we're live again. Here we go. Very, very different from what we were just looking at. Okay, very easy to see that there's a problem. Alright, so now we're going to pause it again and let's see if we can figure out what cylinder is misfiring. We already know I unplugged cylinder number 1's fuel injector, but can we figure it out using our rulers? So let's pull those back out. Alright, so remember, it's offset by 2 to the right. So here's our ignition for cylinder 1. Oh, right there. See, there's no exhaust pulse happening right here. It's missing. That is what a misfire looks like. So it's normal, 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 missing, and then all of a sudden it kind of makes up for it on the next cylinder, and we're back to normal again. Okay, so it's a really good sensor for that kind of thing, and it can pick stuff up that's happening very random and intermittent. The other thing you can do with this sensor is you could locate timing issues in the engine by measuring how long it's taking to complete each one of your exhaust pulses. Okay, this is all in the book that comes with the Firstlook sensor. This is what the book looks like. Okay, so if you read through that, it gives you some tips, some things to look for, some sample waveforms. But that is how you use the Firstlook sensor to measure exhaust pulses.